if we have any like old characters, I can't get it in the back of my throat the way I usually can, so I can't get that bit. But if we're all here and ready, we can go ahead and start.
Mm-hmm.
The next adventure is only the turn of a page away. Let's play some Candlekeep. So last time, you all had some adventures poking around the pillars of pedagogy. Sorry, adjusting the music as I talk. Um, where you discovered that one of your neighbors was looking at infernal poetry. You were given books that Relayus was able to find. And then, because the sage Matrios was just down the hall, you decided to go and pay him a visit. However, he wasn't there in the room, and you were looking around at his research subjects as well, and discovered some interesting books and a note um, that you were going to take back with you, but because Dust has the ability to put puzzle pieces together, Dust discovered by looking at the things that there was a hidden word scepter. And when he said it aloud, this portal opened to a mystery mansion right there in the middle of the study room, this extra dimensional space. Um, when you went in to explore the space, you did find the mage Matrios inside, shouting random words at the doors from the opposite side. Excuse me. Try, Trying to get out because he had accidentally locked himself in. There was some talk back and forth about how if at least one of y'all was on the other side, he could get it open from the other side and let anybody out. Because Matrios had found an imp figurine he wanted to study, which you all determined was actually an imp that had been frozen in time, more or less. Not sure exactly, but that's what it appears to be. And a deal was struck that you all would explore the mansion and catalog many of its mysteries in exchange for his study of the imp, potentially leading to a solution for Grizz's giant problem. Um, so you were about to go exploring, and River turned back around to ask one more question just as the doors closed, and you heard the sage scream from the other side right before you yourselves were locked into this mysterious mansion.
Oof,
So
I have done got him.
the
You.
next bit is, what are you doing?
That's probably the first thing Chris says is just, That imp got him. Shit.
Hearing the yell, I'm gonna come back to the entryway and look at I'm just gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna say, "Did anybody hear that?"
I think we probably all heard that except Dust.
Rivers.
So you don't think he can get us out of here?
He's probably in a whole pot of shit up there right now.
Whoever shakes the doors. I think we're locked inside.
Yep.
Her ears go flat.
Royalace is gonna shout down at Dust. Hey, Dust, come back here.
Oh, here I am talking and I'm completely muted. So Dust would say, what's that you say? Locked in? Well, let me have a go at it. All you youngsters there. And he shuffles up with his walking stick, raps on it a couple times to see how sturdy it is, backs up, shakes his little butt, and does like a pounce at the door.
You hit the doors, and there's like this flash of energy, and you bounce right off. You're not hurt, but you cannot get them open.
Oh, shit. But she'll kind of look over and see River's ears back and go, look, if this place belonged to what's her name, maybe we can find a clue or like whatever the word is that opens the door from this side. He wasn't down here long enough to really find it himself, probably.
I think that's a good idea.
She put riddles in her book, right? That Mr. Dust solved to get the door open on the other side? So maybe there's a riddle somewhere here?
Maybe.
A lot of
Wizards.
books here, though.
Well, we've got time. And we got a druid, so we won't starve.
I hope you guys don't mind eating a whole lot of berries.
Hell yeah, berries.
I like berries.
We're all going to like berries, probably.
And I think Dust would say, well, anyone hungry now, or do we still want to wait? I know we had breakfast not too long ago.
I can wait.
We should probably save it.
Well, let's start looking around. Maybe we shouldn't separate, just because we're stuck in here now.
Well, if we know that this was Festandia's little research nook and cranny here, this big mansion, does anyone have a way to tell if her essence is somewhere a little bit denser? Like, did she scent any corners of this mansion or anything like that? And he sort of pricks his whiskers and wiggles his little nose a little to try to smell if he can smell like anyone particular's scent on going a specific area. And he would know what the guy, the sage, or what was his name?
Matrios?
Matrios. He would know his smell, so he's looking for anyone else's smell, maybe, around.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Oof. That's a shame. 10.
10. You pick up your compatriot's sense. You can tell that Matrios had walked up and down the hall a couple times, but this is completely unfamiliar territory, and there are so many different smells that you can't quite pick out what might be magical and what might be another being.
Could I do that with survival?
What are you looking for with your survival? Like Dust was specifically sniffing. How are you going about it?
Probably like using the same kinds of tracking skills she would use for hunting, like scent, looking at things that are disturbed, like hair, anything that kind of would
Okay.
stand out as somebody having been here.
Okay.
Ooh, 19.
You said 19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You pick up what is probably cat hair. You don't see the cat, but you actually, with a 19, you pick up 3 different distinct colors of cat hair, because you know cats, they just shed everywhere and then they're like all over. In particular, they seem to love around this door. You see some scratch marks on the frame. Most of the hair seems to be going in here and then like kind of scatters going into the other rooms. You can see my little laser pointer, right?
Yes.
So that
Grizz
for
is gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
that for sure.
Would we know who these cats? I mean, this is a dumb question. Would we know who the cats belong to? Like, did we see somebody with cats?
You have not. I mean, the sage didn't seem to indicate he had brought any pets with him, so the logical understanding would be they either belong to Fitzstandia or somebody who she shared the space with. Without knowing her personally, you have no clue.
She'll look at Relays and she'll go to Fistandia. I like cats. Did you know Fistandia?
Did Relays ever know Fistandio?
Probably not.
No, she really, I think she stuck to the tower.
No. Well, her cats have been here and they like this spot. And she'll point.
With a 19, you also pick up traces of, like, everything is well kept. Like, you can see that things have, if the place was fully abandoned, your survival instincts tell you that there would be dust and cobwebs and stuff, but it looks like things have been kept clean as well. Like, I mean, cat hair notwithstanding, you can clean a place and there's cat hair back within 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know that firsthand. But you're not seeing any cobwebs or really unreasonable dust on anything. The lamps in the hallway are lit. Something or someone is maintaining the space to keep it habitable.
Grizz will point that out too. She's like, there's pets here, but it's not an absolute wreck. So somebody comes and cleans periodically at least. So even if we don't find jack shit, somebody will eventually find us, I'm sure.
I hope so. Maybe we should try that door.
Yeah, let's tear this place up.
Are you talking about the door that the cats were? This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is going to get to my. Sorry, I'm going to pull it up. I've got the listing of rooms in my other tab, so I've got to scroll to that, and then I'm going to change the scene. Okay. Bear, Fog of War. How do I remember? I need to remember how to erase. Okay, delete. And then change the scene to the kitchen so you can see it all fancy. So, and we'll go back to the map when you start exploring the map again. But this is the little token view of that kitchen room. I love Dungeon Alchemist. I love that I get to do this.
Cool.
And back to my tab with the instructions. So the door to this room was left slightly open, so all you had to do was just push it, presumably so the cats can come and go, because you do see 3 little bowls lined up against one arm, and the aroma of cooking just permeates the space. You can see a large iron stove up over on one wall, and the rest is filled with tables and shelves with hanging pots and dishes, and kept sparkling clean aside from everything being put in its place, so that there's a loaf of bread and a bowl of chicken, and there's a single cat kind of munching away at his bowl, a little ginger boy, which you would have seen most of the cat hair around the kitchen room was ginger, followed by a couple black hairs, and there's this little of 2 small flapping wings as 2 very small forms land on the nearest point of the counter to you, and both bow low, and you get this: "Honored guest, how can we be of service, honored guest? Cooking, cleaning, we can make clothes. Laundry, do you have laundry?"
What are they?
You make me a intelligence check.
Oh boy.
Can I also make one?
Yes, you may also. Anybody who wants to may make one.
Oh, I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 7.
Ah! Damn it! This is.
Okay.
I was
I
relying
rolled
on
a
you.
20.
Oh,
well,
okay.
somebody here knows what's up. Grizz, I see Grizz and Relay is just kind of looking at it and then looking at each other and just going, ugh.
So, sorry, I'm trying to pull up an image for you because Dust is the one who knows this. Here we go. Copy image. I'm going to plop it into chat. Dust, you saw one once as you were traveling from your home village through a larger town. There was a shop owner who had one of these very small winged creatures.
Thank you.
These are homunculi. Okay. They're tiny, kind of a construct, as was explained to you, and their creator maintains a telepathic bond. The one you met was at an apothecary shop, and it was helping to dust the high up shelves. And then one of the other patrons had gotten all excited because they thought it was a bat and they were scared, and the owner had to calm them down, and it all worked out in the end. But you do remember that particular instance with, you said it was a 20, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So you've had the rare opportunity to see one previously.
Okay.
Um,
So I think Dust would say, "Oh yeah, I've seen one of these little bat fellas before. On the way here, he was just doing some handiwork at an apothecary that I stopped by to pick up some more essence of marigold." And he kind of nods his head in a bow to the little homunculi. "Well, what are you little fellas' names?"
Oh, well, I'm Kerman, and I'm Coriander, and the mage Freya made me, and her Fristandia made me. Can we get you some soup or some bread? I can fix fix your socks?
Can you get us Festandia?
No, she went away on a trip a while ago. A very long time ago.
How long ago?
A very long time ago.
Oh dear.
Would you happen to know the command word to get out of here?
We're not supposed to leave. But we do keep everything dusted and make sure the cats get a meal. And the fairy dragon over in the conservatory, so they don't cause too much trouble. They like to play though. But they won't hurt you. They just like to play.
And, sorry, what kind of dragon did you say in the conservatory?
It's a fairy dragon. They're, what, like, about the size of a cat, but they fly?
Well, I don't think we're real hungry just yet, but it looks like we might be in here a while, and we sure might take you little fellas up on that. Now, I know it's been a while since you've seen your mistress, Festandia, but I was just wondering, would you two be so kind to maybe show us the last thing Festandia was working on in this big old mansion? You know, I'm old and I get all turned around, and it would sure be appreciative if you could show us maybe the last thing Festandia was working on.
So they both start to get really excited that you actually have a task for them, and then both wilt at what your task is. And Coriander goes, "We're not supposed to touch the books."
Well, you don't have to touch them. Don't worry. Your secret's safe with me. If you could just show us which books Miss Festandia was touching, we just want to look at them.
No, you don't understand. We're not allowed.
You're not allowed.
No books with any single letters on the spines are to be touched, handled, rearranged, dusted, opened, and or any other thing that might lead to some big word I didn't understand.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to touch them. You don't have to read them. If you could just point to the ones that she was looking at.
But there's books all over the place. I think she's got books in almost every single room.
Yeah, but maybe just a couple of her favorites that you could point us to.
They look at each other at a complete loss. Well, there's a library that's full of books. I mean, something keeps making piles and piles of things in the library. I don't know. Maybe they rearrange themselves. Maybe that's why we're not supposed to touch them.
Well, all right. I appreciate you guys' devotion to secrecy. It's a respectable trait to have.
Yeah. Maybe we should go check out this library?
You can't miss it. It's the last door on the hall to the, well, depending on which way you're standing, the left, I think, if you're facing the kitchen door. She turns around in a little circle and holds up her hands in the air so that she's facing the same direction you all are facing. Yeah, it's the left.
And I'd sure love to meet those two little cats wandering around here if you see them.
Well, Pumpkin's right there. She points at the orange cat. And then he got a soot and midnight, and they're somewhere, probably napping.
As cats usually are.
Yeah.
Dust would look down at Pumpkin, and he's gonna cast what is it? speak with animals? It's a druid thing.
Ooh, I wondered if you were going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is that? Oh, there it is. Gosh, I'm being crazy. Sorry. So he would bend down and say, "Why, Miss Pumpkin, is it?"
It's Mr.
Mr. Pumpkin, my deepest apologies, sir.
We didn't
Aren't
see your
you-
pumpkins.
Aren't you the most handsome fella in the room right about now?
Now you can say that again.
So, Pumpkin, Miss Festandia, is she your owner?
Do cats really have owners? Sorry, my voice is cracking. I'm gonna have to give up the voice.
Does she work for you? To correct myself.
It's more that, she ensures I have food. I ensure that the mice don't eat the books.
Ah, yes, the books that we keep hearing so much about. You wouldn't happen to know if Festandia had a certain affinity to any particular volumes in this big old mansion?
I mean, if it's in here because she loved it. But there are rules. See, like the two feast preparers mentioned. The ones with the big letters on the spines are not supposed to be touched. She had her friend Freyat communicate that to all three of us before they left.
Her friend Freyat, you said?
Mhm. And I remember that Coriander said that Freyat created her, and
Right.
Cumin was created by Festandia.
The volumes with the large letters on them are not to be touched. Well,
Does he say
being
that out
as-
loud, or
Yeah, I guess Pumpkin's just speaking with me, right?
Right.
So,
So you were the only one who speaks cat at the moment.
right.
But you-
So I'm just making some notes here real fast. And are those volumes in the library, Mr. Pumpkin?
Scattered about as far as I know. Suppose you could
Well,
collect
much-
them. I won't stop you if you want to.
Much obliged. We're just helping Miss Festandia with a little task here, and
Roll a deception check for me.
okay.
I'm gonna step away for 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh god, this is not gonna go well. Okay, it went better than I thought. 15.
Okay, well, that beat Pumpkin's 13. So. Kind of tilts his head and goes, "They say they're coming back anytime soon."
Is he asking me, right?
Yep.
Well, I don't know how long she was planning on being gone for, but I think it might be a while, so we got sent here to help her out with some tasks. So I was hoping you could point us maybe in the direction of where she left off, but I understand if you're not allowed to say. I certainly respect that.
It's funny that you think I'd even know. I'm a cat, not a wizard.
Well, I just, being of the cat affinity myself, I know there's nothing more pleasurable than sitting on whatever your human caretaker happens to be most focused on?
Oh, there are a number of projects, and some of them I wouldn't sit on if I valued my life.
And what about those? Could you tell us where those are?
Scattered around. Don't want to go in the laboratories. Things that smell funny or burn get spilt there. Don't want to go near that. Some kind of angry chair over in the dining room nearly escaped with. Let's just say you only nearly lose your tail once before you refused to go in there. Had to warn Soot and Midnight. Fairy dragons figure it out for themselves, but they usually stay in the conservatory. For that matter, you probably want to stay away from the stupid fairy dragons. Obnoxious boogers.
Now that's something we can agree on. And you said a chair
No.
was like enchanted out of character. What was that?
That's
About the chair?
exactly. He said, what do you call it? Like the nasty chair or something in the dining room.
Oh. Fighting furniture, I do that every day.
Very well, Pumpkin. Well, we won't keep you from your very busy schedule of catting around. So, me and my friends are just gonna explore the surroundings and Dust would pull down some milk from somewhere and kind of refill the bowl on the floor, top it off for him, and give him a little scratch on his head and sort of bow to him and grab River and I guess, are we all in here? I know we didn't
Yeah.
really move our tokens.
Yeah, you could-
so
I just figured y'all were staying together because you said you were staying together. So,
perfect.
um,
So
and Pumpkin goes, "Sir, flattery will get you everywhere." And kind of preens a little and goes to drink the milk you gave him.
I think Dust would gather up the others once they're out of earshot, out of the room, and sort of fill them in on, I think, some of our first books of interest. Judging by the audience, will be in the library, and we should be looking for any volumes that have large letters on the spine.
Okay.
They weren't to be touched, according to Freyot and Festandia before they left.
Sounds like a good place to start.
Indeed. And you got all that from a series of meows?
Yeah, well, he wasn't much for conversation. I guess Cat's got his tongue. But
Oh, that was actually kind of funny.
But he was able to provide me a little bit of information. And he looks around at the size of just the hallway alone, and he says, and if we can't find what we're looking for in the library, it sounds like the laboratories might have also contained some heavily used text. And by all means, if we want to save our hindquarters, we should avoid some chair in the dining room that might take a piece with it if we sit on it. Lord knows I only need one split back there. I don't need two.
Sounds like a good plan. Let's go. Which way did they say the library was?
Did they say it was like the last door on the right going? this direction, or like kind of down where I am? Or,
The-
sorry, maybe.
The left was the. However, I think it was.
So it'd be like right here.
I will let
think
you.
it's
She was
on-
turning in circles, so I will let you attempt to interpret those directions as best you can.
Oh
Say,
God,
go-
not me.
Going the wrong way seems pretty in character for Dust.
Sure. So he also spins around as he's recalling in his head, tail flicking, and he like closes his eyes and holds his hands out, and he's like, I'm just waiting for my druid senses to tell me. And he's like, Shanti, show me the way. And he just spins around and just totally picks a door at random. Like, totally trying to play it up, but we'll see.
Which door are you picking?
I'm gonna pick this one right here. I think this is the door.
Yep, that's the
right
door. Okay, so let me get the fog off of that door. And then I'm going to pull up our little fancy dancy little scene. So while I describe it to you,
here. Not the library.
not the library. So this is very obviously a dining room, which makes sense because it's right beside a kitchen and they share a door going in and out. And you can see these large windows on the far wall opposite the kitchen form the entirety of the wall, and they look out on 3 potted plant beds filled with various vegetation. There's a crystal chandelier hanging above this table made out of sculpted dark wood, and there are 6 matching wooden chairs with scarlet cushions set around the table, and a 7th one over in the corner all by itself. It's also adorned. I did not have tapestry options, or I would have put them on there, but there are also these tapestries hanging on the walls that depict like grapevines and a wine press and someone filling a bottle, basically the winery process.
Ghost would just very quietly not say the very obvious that this is not a library and pretend like he knew exactly what he was doing and proudly walk in and say, now I know this isn't the library, but I just wanted to get the farmer's lay of the land here, and what an elegant table this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is
Yes.
so much better than the library.
Is one of the chairs that you were talking about in here?
I don't know, maybe try to sit on that one on the corner and tell us.
Bad chair.
Since you're talking
Not
about
illegal.
sitting on things, I'm going to give you the room back so you can actually move your tokens around, explore. There's a buffet with dishes, you know, you can kind of look around.
Chris is going to come
Good.
to the other side. Come on, Relayus. Sit in the scary chair.
Go on, someone sit in it.
He does
Ah,
it.
You're sitting on the scary chair.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me see something real quick.
oh God. What'd you do that for?
He was peer pressured.
Does a 22 hit?
Yes.
Oh, right in the butt.
You sit on the chair, and there's this moment like, oh yeah, this is a cushy chair, and then suddenly you basically feel a bunch of teeth in your ass as the chair turns mimic and tries to attack you. That is going to be, where is my mimic stats again? For the bite attack, D8 plus 3. Where's my D8?
I could
That-
die here.
Dag, nabbit. Those
Damn.
little.
As 5 points of biting damage. Biting is piercing, I think. Yep, piercing.
Die to get in his ass out.
And we can go ahead and roll initiative.
Well, the chair bit him where the good Lord split him.
And I need to put the mimic token on the where you can see it.
Sorry about that, buddy. That looks like it's gonna leave a mark. Let's see.
12
gosh,
on the
there we
mimic.
go. Oof. 7 on my initiative. Let me go here.
Yep. 12. And then I gotta roll for River. River comes rushing in. She hears you yelp. Wait, what's going on? What'd you do?
Bit him in the ass.
What? What'd you sit on it for?
She told
Science.
me to.
And River got a 13.
He was feeling charitable.
Pushes Dust towards the chair.
And now we need some battle music.
Woot!
All right, Relaeus, you're up first.
That pissed him off. He did not realize his ass was going to be bitten.
I mean, you sat on a mimic. What did you expect to happen?
I honestly wasn't expecting a mimic. I thought it was just going to be a magical chair.
I did too, honestly.
He's gonna immediately kick one of the what are they called? One of the legs of the chair. So his action will be an unarmed strike. That's a 14.
That'll hit.
All right.
Say, since you kicked him, you probably moved one space over.
That'll be 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And as a monk, you can do unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So I'm gonna turn around and try to do a sweeping kick to try to break the legs.
Okay.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Nice. That'll definitely hit.
12 points of damage.
Okay. Okay, let's see, do that. And is anything else on your turn?
I don't really have anything else I can do.
All right, so that brings us to Grizz.
Alright, Grizz still honestly thinks this is kind of funny. She's kind of snickering about it. And since he has kicked it, I think she is she's gonna kind of imitate him at first. Like she's gonna kick it, but instead she is gonna use her ram melee attack. So let's see. Alright, that is a 21.
Oh, that'll hit.
Alright, that will be 6 points of bludgeoning damage. As she just whams her head into it.
Okay. The chair kind of slams back against the wall and shudders a little bit.
And as she kind of stands up from the head ram, she sort of not like a really dance, but she kind of clicks her hooves a little bit on the floor. And I think that is all she's doing for her turn.
All right. So that brings us to River. River's going, oh no. Oh dear. I can't swing a sword very well in here. Mr. Dust, tell me what you want to do and I'll try my best to help you. And River is going to take the help action, and that will give you advantage on your action next turn. And that will then bring us to the Mimic, who, let's see, Verlaeus did the most damage. So it is going to attempt to bite you again. That is going to be a 10. It snaps its teeth at you, and I'm guessing misses.
Yep.
And it can't move, really. I think, yeah, no, because the table's in its way. It's stuck in the corner. So it's making like threatening sounds and gnashing its teeth, but that is its turn. And we are now on to Dust. And you have advantage because River has taken the help action.
Right. So. Alright. So I think. Let me think here. Dust is going to. Cass, you see him wave his quarterstaff around and close his eyes, and you see like vines, sort of like ethereal vines, sort of bloom up and sprout on the top of the staff. And he's gonna cast Shillelagh on it.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah,
And
Shillelagh.
he is going to attempt to strike it with that. So
What is the reach on his shillelagh staff?
well, I am going to actually. I'm sorry. I am going to get here.
So River acts as a step to help you get up onto the table without an athletics check.
Oh, I love it. Okay, good. So she does the like cup your hands together,
Yep.
and Dust sort of does like a very cat-like spry for this old man that you're not used to, sort of spring off of it as the vines are whirling around on the staff at the top, and he slams it down on the Mimic and say, "You hurt my buddy, and don't you damage that beautiful beard." And he does a 15 hit?
Yes, a 15 will hit.
Perfect. So that's a d8 plus 3, so 9 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, wow. Okay, sorry, I accidentally rolled again. So he just, like, real quick, you hear him say, "I'm sorry it has to end this way," and he just, like, slams the staff down on the top of it and, like, kind of slams its mouth shut, like, on its tongue. You see it, like, sort of slam its teeth shut on its tongue, and the tongue sort of fall onto the ground.
All right. So the Mimic, its jaws get slammed shut onto its own tongue, and it shudders and goes back against the wall really hard, trying to get away from the blow, and then kind of shifts back into its natural form, which is a very spindly, malnourished looking, shadowy humanoid, like overly long, spindly limbs. Very much does not look like it was healthy to begin with.
Oh, now I feel bad.
And, do you think it was here hoping somebody would sit on it and then it could eat them?
Probably.
It's damn close to eating me.
I wasn't going to let it eat you. Much.
Ouch.
And at that, uh, Dust would hold out the palm of his hand, and you'd see that same sort of like green viney wisp appear in his hand, and he will summon forth a good berry, and he's like, now it ain't much, but it might make you feel better. And he gives the good berry to I keep wanting to call you Aurelius, and I know that it's not it, and I'm sorry. It is well,
Really,
Leia.
Sally's. Weasel.
thank you. Relaeus, God. For whatever reason, I keep trying to run those two together, and it's so hard for me. So he would hand it to Relaeus and say, now, I don't know if it's going to do much for the other end, but it might make you feel better. Perhaps sitting on some frozen peas or something might help. And he, like, holds his hand out to offer him the good berry, which would restore 1 hit point and nourishes him for the day.
Yeah, I think you still have 9. Because it produces 10 when you cast the spell.
Oh, does it? Oh.
Does anybody have prestidigitation or anything like that?
I do.
Oh, yes, 10 berries. Okay, thank you.
You could wrap him in a handkerchief and cast prestidigitation on him to make him cold.
So he would actually give him half of that stack of berries, too.
Nom, 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 nom,
They-
nom, nom, nom.
Here, eat those up.
These
And,
are interesting. I feel better, though.
And you feel
yeah,
very,
they're nothing
very
to write
full.
home about. Very, very full. I mean, they're nothing to write home about, but they do the trick in a pinch.
Make this with one of your plant concoctions.
Yeah, I'm more into the, you probably can't tell from looking at me, but I'm more into the nourishing beauty and health supplies regimen. You know, tinctures and oils, scents. This is a little outside of my boundaries, so I apologize for the taste.
Oh, it didn't taste bad at all. Definitely had worse fare.
And I wish there was a place I could put how many of these I have left, but
There's
just
a
put it
notes
in my
tab.
notes. Yeah. I just would love it if they had just a little box next to it that I could just like
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
right there, you know. That's right, I'll just put it here. All right, Gris. Well, he sure owes you one.
I think I owe him one. Sorry, kid.
Fine. I shouldn't have sat in it.
Look with your eyes, not with your ass.
Well, at least now it won't bother anyone else.
Yeah. If that thing stayed a chair, I would have broke all of his legs. But
Do maybe, I don't know, sometimes like people keep like tonics or something in like the dining room or by the tea service, or is that the wrong kind of tonic?
It's the wrong
Maybe.
kind of tonic, kitten.
Oh.
We can look. Actually, I wouldn't mind that myself, and Grace is going to start rooting around to see to see what she can find.
Okay, make me an investigation.
Okie dokie. That is an 8.
An 8? Oh,
8.
well, it's nothing super exciting. You got your teacups and your silverware, and I mean, there's no gems or potions or anything, but you know, if you want to steal the dishes, you can take the dishes.
Yawn. Grizz will just kind of grumble and abandon her efforts to find anything interesting. Should we check the other rooms and find another not library?
Is there anything else in this room of importance?
If you want to make an investigation check for me, you can.
It's an 18.
18. As Grace is putting the silverware back like it's not important, you catch the insignia stamped into the handle of one of the spoons, and you realize, like, oh wait, that silverware is actually pure silver. You could probably take it and sell it and get about 20 gold out of it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You hand
Is
those
it-
over.
Assuming you want to take silverware out of a mansion, that is up to you.
You know what? Shouldn't have trapped us here. That is the price you pay. Grizzle
Indeed
kind of
it is.
paused and hand it to him. She's like, "What are you gonna do with it?"
I'm gonna sell it one day.
She kind of like cocks her head and her ears twitch a little bit. You're gonna just sell the silverware?
Mm-hmm.
Do
I
people not have silverware? She looks
This
very
is fancy
confused.
stuff.
Oh. She'll hand it all to him. Well, you did get your ass bit.
Did you say he donated a stool sample?
Ew. That depends on how hard it bit him, I guess.
You may add a silverware set worth 20 gold pieces to your inventory. All
I
right.
feel like I almost killed you with that terrible pun.
I mean, it wouldn't take much to kill my voice right now, but we're going, we're trucking. River goes, so what? I mean, I don't think this is a library, obviously. Do we want to find the library, or do we just want to open doors and see what we find, or?
Well, as entertaining as this room was, it's not very big, and I think we've done our due diligence here, but my sense of direction has failed me once again. I think someone else better take the lead.
I mean, I can lead. Did you say it was at the end of the hallway?
I thought that's what they said. She was turning in circles and trying to figure out if it was left or right, depending on which way you were looking, and I don't remember what the end result was. Oh, wait, 1 second. And River pokes her head back into the kitchen through the adjoining door and goes, oh, hey, we took care of the mimic chair. It won't bite anybody anymore.
River, ask him where the library is.
Where's the library again? And I will say that Pumpkin, the orange ginger cat, comes in, rubs up against Dust's ankles, and then goes back down the hall and starts walking this way before he sits and looks over his shoulder like, well, you coming?
All right, everybody. Looks like my senses have returned in the form of one dapper little orange cat named Pumpkin.
And he, get back on the correct screen here. Too many tabs open. There we are. He goes down all the way to the end of the hall and sits right here.
Well, down the hall we go.
Whee!
Yep, sorry. Hadn't zoomed out enough. I couldn't move my token any further. There we go. I knew it was here the whole time. I was just testing y'all's sense of direction.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 doors at the end of the hall, one facing you and the other in the same wall as the dining room and the kitchen doors were. And the cat is just kind of sitting in the corner between them.
All right, Dust, which door is it?
I'm gonna say it's this one.
Okay, you're going for...
Right here.
You're walking through a wall. You're going for this one?
No, the one that's right.
This one.
Oh, I thought this was the door.
No, that's a wall.
Oh, okay. So yes, this one then.
This one. Okay.
Yeah.
You're confusing me. I wasn't sure which one you were going for a moment. All right. So you open that one, and that one is in fact a library. Get our little picture up.
Ooh.
Big
Cool.
yawn.
Oh no, so that was the sound of excitement.
Oh, okay. I thought that was yawn.
No, sorry.
And then I gotta scroll up to our library description here. Here we are. So you see the whole room is lined with these tall shelves that are just filled with books that have like some weird semblance of order. You can't quite tell if it's like color coding or author name or research subject, but it seems mostly orderly. And there's these 2 shelves that go through the middle of the room with like a 10-foot aisle between them. And there's stacks of books just throughout the room and a couple small reading desks with scarlet chairs in the corners. Also, some of them have books on top of them. And looking around, you can see subjects including arcana, natural sciences, religions of the world. You see one dust about Shanti. I think that's how you pronounce the name. There's astrology and planar travel. There's volumes of poetry and mythology and folk tales. And just all sorts. Like, it's not as big as the massive library that you came to visit, but for a personal library, it's pretty well varied.
Are there any of them books in here with the letter on them?
Make me a perception check. Or investigation if you're going to go through and, like, pull things off the
I'll roll
shelves.
investigation then.
Okay.
Because my investigation's a little higher. Didn't help too much, but that's a 13.
That is enough. You do see up on one of the middle shelves is a green book with a gold R written, taking up pretty much the whole spine. It's on one of the higher shelves in the corner. And I'm going to put us back on the regular map so that I can use the laser pointer.
Hey y'all, I found a book with one of them letters on it.
So you see it, it's kind of on the corner here.
I mean, he's gonna grab it.
Okay. And the shelf behind you kind of shudders for a moment. So you're grabbing a book from this shelf, and then this shelf starts shaking.
Grizz is gonna kind of like come over pretty fast and maybe try to stand between Relias and the shaking shelf.
Okay. So let's see. I need both of you to make a dex save. Relias, I will say you can make yours with advantage because Grizz has stated that she is acting as a buffer for you.
That was a 25.
That will pass.
That's a 4.
So, Grizz, you managed to move Relias out of the way, but it's at the cost of your own balance, I should say. You are knocked prone as the shelf gets toppled on top of you. You are considered for the moment to be restrained, although you can, on your turn, make an action for a strength or athletics checks to get yourself free. Or if somebody else lifts the shelf off of you, and you see this swarm of books fly off the shelf from the other side, and it's almost like they're shaking in the air and laughing at each other and like flying around, like with the spine as the center and the pages as the wings, going around in circles.
Grizz hits the floor and says some really ugly words.
Do these books that are flying around seem dangerous?
I mean, they did just try to push a shelf over on top of both of you, so I will let you make that determination for yourself. And Grizz is currently under a shelf, and River goes, "Is everybody okay in there?"
I would like some help. I don't know if I can lift this bookshelf by myself.
Just all puffed up at the sudden excitement of everything. And he was like, it's going to be real hard to convince me to read if this is the type of things that books be doing. And he comes in to try to help as best as he can.
All right. So I will let you and Relayus try to make a strength check. I'm going to have you both roll, and we will take like a joint check. So you're going to roll, and I'll take the average against the DC. And River runs in, and River gets her sword out, and she's like holding it, like, "Do you want me to hit him with it?" As these books are swirling around, looking like they might try to dive bomb you.
Yeah, hit him while we get this. I rolled a 16.
Okay, and then
I rolled an 11.
11. Okay. 2. That will be just enough. It was like half a point higher than the DC was a 13 and the average is 13.5. So you go in and you each take a corner and you manage to lift it up, and River is like trying to hit the books with her sword like it's a baseball bat, and Grizz is able to get out from under the shelf.
Woot!
Do we gotta fight him, or can we just leave?
I mean,
Well, we gotta find what we're looking for.
I did. I found up the book. It's got a big R on it.
Is that the only one?
Only one I could find.
Well, we'll start there. Seems good enough. Let's get out of here. Let's get the heck out of Dodge.
All right, are we?
So you're leaving the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, and how many? So the books are flying around. Is that right?
Yep, they're getting ready to dive bomb you. So if you want to leave the room, you better leave the room. Otherwise, we're going to be rolling initiative.
Yep, we're leaving.
Grizz will kind of wave River out.
River will back out, still ready to help if you get into trouble. All right.
Well, can't say I've ever been attacked by a bunch of flying books before.
But we
Yeah,
got
that's a
one.
first.
Relayus, my friend, I think you've got some bad luck. Maybe perhaps let someone else go first next time.
Agreed.
You won't hear any complaints from me. I really don't want to get bit in the ass again.
That'd be one heck of a paper cut.
That first one was quite a I would burn.
I mean, you keep getting your ass in danger, and that thing's gonna look like a beat up old baseball mitt.
Alright, so we gotta find books that look like this? And she points at the one Relius is holding.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the only thing we got to go on right abouts now, so.
Is there a safe spot to put him? Or do we want to carry him around the whole time? Or.
I mean, I can keep the letter in my head. I don't know. I mean, maybe the book is important, but it sounded like what made them special were the letters.
River just
Yes.
shrugs.
Maybe when we find more, we'll figure it out.
Well,
Yeah.
we know the dining room is pretty isolated, and so far it's the only room we know that's safe now. Maybe we could start looking at it in there and try to relax and eat something.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
So he's gonna hobble back on down the hallway with his little cane. Suddenly not looking like the spry version of himself that he was when he left on the table earlier.
Chris will kind of walk close. You good, Grandpa?
Yeah. Just gotta dust off the cobwebs, you know.
You gotta quit dancing on the table.
At that, he chuckles, and it's like a wheezy, raspy sort of.
She cracks a grin.
Darling, if I was dancing on a table, the only thing I'd be getting money for is people paying me to stop.
Oh, you still got it in you, Gramps.
Relace is gonna take out his dagger and stab a chair before he sits in it.
Smart man.
And y'all want this dagger to make sure that it's not a mimic?
I'm good. As Relius goes to sit down, Grizz will kind of like grab his shoulder quick and go, ah!
Rude.
Ah!
And it didn't even work on Relias, but when she does that, Dust kind of like jumps up in a standing before fully sitting into the chair, and then looks at her, and then like sits back down again. Almost got me with that one.
She will sit down herself.
River will turn her chair around backwards and kind of like fold her arms over the top of it.
Well, who's good with books?
I'm a researcher, so.
I hate to say it. Sounds like you're volunteering again, friend.
He's just gonna leaf through the pages and see if anything major is within the pages.
Make me an investigation check, I guess.
And I think with the luck of before too, Dust is kind of leaning over the table, kind of looking as well to see if any pictures or puzzles before like the scepter sort of stand out.
Okay,
I got a 14.
14. And Dust, if you want to make me a perception check since you're watching over his shoulder.
Oof. Not perceptive. Too much excitement for one evening. 8.
Okay. So you flip through the pages, and it seems to be mostly a botany field guide kind of thing. Like a look for this plant where the leaves are in 3 points. Directly across from the other leaf, you could identify it as insert Latin name here. Nothing, I mean, like, if you enjoy botany, it's probably very interesting. But nothing similar to what you looked at on the other side of the portal at all. You know, this very much looks like it is a printed, like on a print set book, with your lithograph images and things of that nature. The only thing that you can determine is that the title on the spine had been either removed or painted over to contain that fancy R.
Well, I don't think the book itself is really too important. Looks like they like removed the title of the book to replace it with his big letters. So.
So the letter's the important part?
I think so, yeah.
Well, what if all the letters make a word that is the password to get out?
Seems weirdly complicated, but probably.
Okay.
All we gotta do is find the rest of these books, right? And put the letters together?
And I have this fun thing in Owlbear called Notes. So I'm going to put a green sticky down here with a big R on it so that it is very obvious which ones you found. So that as we go session to session, we don't have to try to remember what was and wasn't located.
Nice.
Everybody can see that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do me a favor, see if you can move that around. Yes. Okay, awesome. So this will act like the books, like if I had books on a table or blocks to represent books, this will work for that, and you can all see the R on it. So every time y'all find a book, I will be putting a sticky note down here with that letter.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, now that we've rested a little bit, do you all want to go look for another book?
Sounds good to me.
There's still a couple more doors on this floor.
I'm not getting any younger. We might as well.
Yup.
Okay.
I think Grizz is gonna go choose one.
And River's kind of hobbling with her, using her as a little bit of a brace with his cane in the other hand.
You mean Dust?
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I keep doing that.
I mean, if you want to play River, you can.
She will give him her elbow and try this door right here.
Okay. So that one. Oh. Get everything scooted over a little bit. Oh, let me see if it's... I believe it's open. I'm just going to double check on this particular one. Is also partially open. Not a lot, but just enough, like about the space of a cat's width, indicating something roughly about that size is allowed to go in and out. And you go out into this lovely, tall, greenhouse-esque conservatory, arboretum, your preferred term. What's with the blue lines?
Sorry, I keep accidentally turning on the marker.
Okay.
I see something moving.
I'm moving around trying to find my scene for the.
Oh no, not that. I saw
Yeah,
like.
I thought I saw shadows or
Uh
something
huh.
moving in the little botany area.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
It could also be that the smoke effect from outside is bleeding through the walls just a
Oh.
little bit. I tried not to have it do that, but it kind of does it in certain spots. And you see these 3 raised plant beds that have all sorts of different goodies in them. You have some trees as well, fruit trees. There's a potted lemon tree and a potted orange tree. Flowering shrubs growing as well in the semicircular patio. Basically, if you wanted to have like a garden to provide enough ingredients to cook from, like if you didn't want to leave your mansion for a while, you would have the option. And there's not any sunlight, but there's this 2 glowing globes set just below to hang from the ceiling above the plants, bathing them in natural light. And like the scent of the plants as well permeates the air like a heavy botanical perfume.
Hey, this is your room, Dust.
His eyes are everywhere. Like he is in awe. He is starting. He wants to investigate every little plant in here. His tail is just like swishing back and forth. He is like doesn't even know where to start. He's just he's like, "Oh, Shanti, y'all might have to leave me in here for a while." And he's pulling out his little notebook and cracked charcoal pencil, and he's starting to like make notes of the plants that he does recognize in here and ones that he doesn't know.
There's like this little flittering sound of giggling. Like sometimes it's in one corner, sometimes it's in the other. Are you here to play? Says a little voice somewhere off to your left.
Play what?
Games! Games! Let's play games!
What kinds of games? And Grizz is kind of like walking around trying to find it.
What kind of games do you like? And like every time it speaks, it's like from a different part of the room.
Grizz is thinking. I like to play hopscotch.
How do you play? How do you play?
Well, come here and I'll show you.
This little, you don't quite see it, but the lemon tree off to your left just kind of shakes as if something has landed on top of one of the branches.
Grizz is going to go investigate the lemon tree.
Okay. Roll investigation or perception, whichever you feel is most appropriate.
Probably investigation. That's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, you see nothing in the branch. You saw the tree shake, and then you have no clue what, where. You're not even sure which branch.
Grizz kind of sighs. I don't know where it is.
Make me a wisdom save, please.
Oh no. Oh no. I gotta roll some different dice. It's a 7.
7. This sense of lilies washes over you, and this feeling of euphoria kind of like sinks in, kind of like when you've been outside on a cold rainy day and you come in and have like a hot cup of tea or cocoa or coffee, and that warmth just goes through you as you drink. It's that kind of feeling. And just like, oh, it's kind of nice here, kind of. However, Grizz feels like what does Grizz think is the most comforting feeling? What is that for Grizz? What does that look like?
Probably sleeping on a bunch of like a hay pile with furs on it in like her little tree hollow.
Okay, so that's the feeling you get. That this place is comfortable. This place reminds you of your favorite pile of furs. And you are basically under the effects of a euphoria breath.
Oh.
And you can continue. You can make roughly once per turn. You can make a wisdom saving throw until you come out of it.
Okay.
But before you make your wisdom save, roll me a d6.
Okay.
Because you're not really in combat. I'm just kind of curious to see how long it lasts.
I rolled a 1.
1. Okay, so you suddenly feel the urge to maybe kind of run around in circles.
Grizz is definitely, she's like, this place is really not so bad. And she's kind of like making a little loop, and like picking little leaves off and eating them.
There's lots of giggling as you do this.
She's having a blast just lawnmowering the place.
And River
No!
and River comes in, what you doing? And there's lots more giggling and try the other one! Try the other one! And River is going to now have to make a wisdom save.
Grizz is like, shit, these are some good leaves.
That is a 9 from River, which is not good. D6 is also a 1. So River starts joining you in your game, although for River, it's more like River finds one of the oranges and starts like getting super fascinated by the way it rolls around. They're funny. Let's play more. Let's play more.
Okay, I'm not going in there.
Dust is in horror. Stop! You're eating all the treasure. I offered you a good berry. Please stop eating.
But they're so tasty. Come on, you should eat one.
Gris, I need these. I gotta know what's in here. You gotta stop eating them.
Well, I'm not gonna eat all of them. And she kind of looks some of them.
One couldn't tell.
Mr. Dust, look how this rolls.
It does roll.
He's horrified right now.
In the room or are you still in the hall?
I'm in the hall.
You're in the hall, okay.
Trying to... I hadn't had a chance to even enjoy the room before they started eating everything.
The snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
Can he determine where that voice is coming from the hallway?
Yeah, make me a perception check.
13.
You can't quite tell where it's coming from, but with a 13, I will tell you that you can figure out that it's two separate voices that sound very similar.
And would I have any inkling in my travels of what would make that kind of voice?
You have actually been told what's in the Arboretum Conservatory about twice.
Yes. Okay. We called it Arboretum, and I was thinking the conservatory might have been different.
Because I was calling it a conservatory, and then the documentation says Arboretum, and that's the word I'm looking at. I'm sorry for the confusion.
Well, now I know. No. Now I know what it is. Blasted fairy dragons in there causing a ruckus and quick, and he like looks around. Someone do something. Anyone know how to chase off some fairy dragons before all those beautiful plants are devoured by grazing season? It's like open prairie in there right now.
One of the voices goes, "You're a party pooper!" But you don't really feel any malice. It's more like they're very entertained by watching these two play with the oranges and run around and pick leaves. And
I'm sure malice wasn't intended, but he ain't happy. You two, cut it out, knock it off. Please, come on, fairy dragons. Don't you have some other game you want to play?
Can I repeat my wisdom saving throw as Grizz picks up a lemon and just bites it like an apple?
Yep, and I will repeat one for River as the orange goes under one of the planters and she gets stuck trying to get it.
I got a 9.
Okay, 9 unfortunately is not going to. However, River got a 14, which is just barely above the target. So River curses as she hits her head and crawls back out. What? Why am I chasing oranges?
Grizz is currently eating the lemon like an apple.
Chris, isn't that sour?
Yeah.
You like sour?
Yeah. It's actually not bad. I've had worse. It's yeah.
Mr. Dust, why do you look so mad?
Dust just like holds his hands up to the room and is like, look at the mess she's causing in there.
Oh. We can clean it up. And then the little voice goes, "Cleaning's so fun! Chase the ball again!"
Is there, like, would I know anything that I could use to get the fairy dragons out of here?
That's up to you. Like, if you have an idea you want to try, just let me know what it is. We'll figure out what kind of mechanics we need. Or if you're more focused on getting Grizz out, anything you could do to help her make a wisdom save.
Kurt, do you have Druidcraft as one of your?
I do.
When I played a druid, there was many number of times when I wanted shit to happen. I used Druidcraft to make like skunk stink.
Oh, okay, because it doesn't.
Because can't you make like a? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me actually look at that.
It only gives me like 4 options: weather sensor, bloom. Oh, a sensory effect. Love it. Okay, good. Yeah, I think. What would make a fairy dragon want to run away? I think make it smell really bad in there might not be a bad idea.
I've done that. I did that several times as Holly.
You did.
Sorted.
You very much did, and I loved every single one of them. River comes bolting out of the room with her hands over her nose. What'd you do that for?
Out, everyone out, and that includes you, you pesky fairy dragons.
Why?
Chris sniffs his. That's the good stuff.
This is our home. You're a meanie. Yeah, meanie. Go away, meanie.
Well, you can come back once I'm done in here, but right now, out. You're causing a ruckus.
We were here first.
Now you'll be in here last. Get out.
You hear the noise of a raspberry being blown.
You don't want me to make it worse in there.
You can leave.
Stink smells getting stronger.
Make me persuasion or intimidation.
Ooh.
Actually, we'll call this intimidation. I feel like this is much more strongly in the intimidation vein.
Oof. 5.
Yeah, no, there several of the branches rustle again and you hear another raspberry sound.
Let's see. Now that it is thoroughly stinky in there, can I have Grizz
Yep.
repeat it again?
Yep, I was gonna say new time for how
Shit. 6.
6. How much does Grizz dislike stink? Because I was gonna give it to you with advantage if he's making it stronger.
I mean, honestly, it probably does not bother her.
Okay.
But for fun, we'll do it with advantage just to see if she'll. Well, I rolled a 5 and a 2 total.
Okay.
So that's
yeah,
a 6
no,
and a
Grizz
3.
doesn't seem to mind it in there.
No, Grizz is good.
New friend,
has
new
gotten-
friend.
Grizz has gotten tired and has gone to sit under the lemon tree.
Hey,
I have
Grizz.
an idea.
Yeah?
Why don't you come sit out here?
Because I'm leaning on the lemon tree and it's pretty nice. She looks up and says, I stole a lemon.
Blaze is gonna take a deep breath and then spray her with water.
You may repeat your save.
Because like, hey, what the fuck?
Like he's gonna summon a small amount of water above her head and drop it on her.
How cold are you making that water?
That's pretty cold.
Add advantage this time for the cold water.
Alright, that is a total of 15.
Okay, that will save. The
Grizz,
magic number we were looking for was 11 or higher.
It washes off some of her mud shirt and she goes, hey, what the fuck? Oh man, I gotta do my shit again. She gets up.
Don't worry. I can fix it. And he's gonna use the same spell elementalism to lift the mud off the ground and just kind of slap it on.
Hey.
It was the fancy paint
telekinesis.
too, wasn't it?
Yep. She's good with the mud though.
Okay.
She kind of blinks and she goes, what the fuck have I been eating?
Lemons.
Everything.
And she kind of reaches and pulls a little bit of leaf out. She goes, yeah. Why was I? Oh, and she looks around. You fuckers.
You said you would play.
Yeah, I said I'd play. I didn't say you could hypnotize me. She's gonna take out her spear and start rifling around in the bushes. Somebody better come out
No,
and do some explaining.
no. Me.
Could I roll intimidation?
You can, especially with that spear.
All right, 17.
You see, you go to jab your spear into a bunch of flowers, and it's, hey, watch it! And this bright orange, small little fairy dragon appears. Oh, that's wrong. There we go. Kind of.
I will say she was probably using the blunt end of the spear, not the pointy end.
It's still not fun to get poked.
Mm-hmm.
As one of the two becomes visible to you. We just wanted a friend to play with us.
Yeah, but it's not cool to take away people's free will.
Blows a raspberry at you.
You want it. Chris is square and she's like, alright, come here. Where's your friend?
Over there?
Over where?
Well, I don't know. I can't see him. And the other voice goes, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, It's gonna be ha 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 when I find both of you in a minute. Is there a book in here?
Make me a perception check or investigation check, depending on how you want to go about it.
Well, she's asking the dragon specifically.
Oh, I thought you were asking me as a okay.
No, I'm sorry. She's gonna. Are there any books in here?
No. We kind of messed up the last picture book the cat brought us, and they said no more books because Lady Fistandia was really mad that we messed one up. So the only time we get books is when somebody brings one in to read it, and then they always take it back.
Grizzle actually kind of softened a little bit, and she goes, "You guys must get pretty bored and lonely in here, huh?"
Uh-huh. Gives you the biggest, widest, I'm so cute, don't be mad eyes.
Alright, look. We have gotten stuck here and we need to get out. So, don't hypnotize any more of us, okay?
Why not?
It's not fun.
It's funny.
That's not... Yeah, but a game's only fun if it's fun for both people.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what. I will come read you something. And she's already immediately going, fuck shit, why are these words coming out of my mouth? Do you know anything about where Fistandra went, or how long she's been gone, or why she put the letters on some of these books but not others?
And the other voice pops up from the invisible corner. It was a trip with Fiat to something about research. Oh, letters were supposed to be clues to a game.
Is it a game that helps open the front door?
Is it? She wouldn't play with us. Why wouldn't she play with us? I don't know. Like, there's this bickering back and forth between these high-pitched voices before they finally decide that, yes, didn't want us loose. Maybe that's why she wouldn't play the game.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, so I will come back and read a book to all of you.
Promise?
I promise.
Yay, yay! And they're like, the sounds now, like the one that you were poking with the end of the dull end of the spear goes invisible again, and there's like laughter and giggling and yay, hurrah, new friend kind of cries as it sounds like they're flying in spinny circles above you.
Grizz is gonna kind of rifle around in her bag, and she's gonna pull out a little carved. It's a carving of a deer, and she'll sit it down. She'll go, here. In the meantime, here's a toy.
Toy! A little deer gets picked up somehow and starts flying around with them. We'll be careful, we'll be careful!
Okay, well, it's wood, so you can't hurt it too bad. Chris is gonna come out. I feel kind of bad for everything here.
A little, yeah.
You got...
When we get back out, maybe we should talk to somebody about this.
About the dragons?
Well, the dragons, the cats. I don't think she's been here in a very long time.
Yeah, it's not the fairest to them.
No. Alternately, we could just take them with us when we leave.
That would be cool. I'd love to have a pet dragon. I don't know that Tellez would like it, though.
He's not the only one that wouldn't be a fan.
Nasty. Plants are made to get eaten. Why would they fit in my mouth if they couldn't be eaten?
At that, you see Dust go to say something, and then he just bites his tongue, looks at the young age of river nearby, and then just, if you can see flesh appear anywhere on him where his muzzle's kind of thin and gray, you see it kind of turn pink. And he's like,
Whatever you were gonna say, you can probably say anyway. I probably already heard it.
"Oh no, darling. Mr. Dust doesn't always have the best sense of humor. It's not appropriate for all ages."
Chris is just grinning.
Oh, it was one of those types of jokes.
It's okay, River. I don't understand it either.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't understand it.
Am I the only one that doesn't understand it?
Chris
Okay.
will lean over and whisper in Relias's ear.
No. That explains why I don't understand it.
I mean, fair. She just kind of shrugs. That's not really my bag.
So, do we want to go ahead to the next room?
Sure. You want to pick?
I thought I wasn't allowed to pick anymore.
You're not allowed to volunteer anymore.
I didn't
Oh.
even get a good look at any of those plants.
I mean, it mostly looked like vegetables and fruits to me.
Let's go to this one down here.
Okay, so you're looking at right here.
Mhm.
Okay. And let's see. Where is it? This one.
Ooh, library. Library.
Okay. So this door also is left open about the size of a cat's width, and you definitely see why, because there is a fluffy, long-haired tuxedo, black and white, curled up in one of the chairs, fast asleep. The far wall of this room is just a giant built-in bookshelf, and there's even more books resting on the second armchair in there. There's a couple paintings on the wall as well. Let's see, where is it? It gave me a list of what paintings were what. There they are. So there's 3 paintings hanging on the wall. There's a landscape scene with a large green dragon emerging upward from a grove of pine trees. The third wall has a study of a Pegasus in flight, almost Leonardo da Vinci style, where it's like parchment with charcoal, and then like it shows the different formations of the wings. And on the wall next to the door, if you turn around and look back out the door, you see a portrait of a unicorn in a wooden glade. And this, like, it's very clear now why the homunculi were uncertain about how to tell you what books Festandia had been working on, why the cat seemed uncertain, because you have, aside of the Conservatory Arboretum, you have now seen books in most of the rooms that you've poked your head into.
This lady liked books.
Indeed. If only I could have a library like this one day. Take it from her.
So I guess we should see if there's any more books with big letters.
I think so. I'm gonna start looking.
So that would be, depending on how you're going about it, investigation or perception. And any or all of you may go ahead and make checks.
I would like to make investigation too.
Me too.
I'm sure
I
that'll
got an
go
18.
great.
Okay, so let me
Me
Oh.
too.
I got 17.
Okay, so we are...
I got a 15.
Okay, so it was a 22, 17, 15?
I got an 18.
18. 22, 17, 18. Wait. Say your numbers again. I don't know why I thought...
Maybe River rolled one.
I haven't rolled for River. So it was
Oh.
18 for Relayus, 17 for Grizz,
Mhm.
15 for Dust?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me roll for River real quick. Ooh, natural 20 on Rivers.
We're doing great.
All right. So one by one, since one of us is pretty much guaranteed to find that book, is there anything else you want to search for while we're in this room?
Oh, go ahead, Sale.
No, I wasn't sure what I was going to say quite yet.
Okay. I think Grizz is going to kind of look around and see if she can get anything that might give her any idea of, like, what this woman would have gone on such a big, long journey for.
Okay. So you look around. The cat meows at you from the chair. And then you spot this book open on the table right here. And it looks like it is a study. Excuse me, give me 1 second. That's better. It's a study on portals, basically, and how some portals seem to be stable, especially the artificial ones set up, like the one that created this mansion into demi-planes. But others, if you look at them, like one end is always in the same place and the other end jumps around. And there's stories of several that you're never sure which end is going to appear where. Like they're safe to go through, but
You don't know where you'll end up.
exactly. And there's a thing of notes on like what makes an extra dimensional space stable and usable for study. How can we, as a school of mages, determine whether or not we can continue to make spells like my mansion, which seems to have reached the limit of space I can maintain stably? Is there a way to make it bigger? Can we hide whole universities inside such a space? If there was a siege, could we fit an entire city inside an extra dimensional space and have it remain steady enough? Could we switch the portal once we're all inside our dimensional space so that the door reopens somewhere elsewhere? Those kind of notes. As well as a list of this portal seems to open always to the plane of fire, while this seems to be a permanent door to sigil, depending on whether or not the Lady of Pain wants to grant admittance. Perhaps I should take a trip to the City of Doors to investigate.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I wonder if she got lost.
I think Dust has kind of also distracted himself in looking for anything that looks like it might have to do with like plant magic.
Okay. Is there a specific vein, like certain spells or how to you're trying to find, or more in general, or history or mythology?
How-tos.
How-tos. So Okay, those who have played druids, because I have not played a druid yet, is the druid magic, is it like the wizard school where you learn spells, or is it more like the clerics where you prepare from a list of things you have available spell slots for?
It's more like cleric.
Cleric, okay. So what you find then, Dust, is a book cataloging unique uses for things like druidcraft, ways to meditate to get more in tune with nature so that you can have your how's the word I want to get your vibe or your flow, inner peace
Your
feel
chakra.
yeah, thank you. Feel like it is in the best place for casting hopefully quickly. Reminders that self-care are as important for the druid as it is to care for the plants. Like don't think like the druid will be their best druidic self if they take care of themselves as well as their space of nature. If that makes
Yes,
any
you have to nurture your soul like you do a plant.
yeah. And like some basic, I'll say it also outlines a lot of your level 1 spells that you currently have access to, like pointers for practice and things of that nature.
Perfect.
Like additional creative uses for some of the spells too.
Love it. Well, sounds like Vestandia went and got herself, and he's like distractedly flipping through this book, eyes glowing, and he's like, went and got herself locked in a city full of doors.
Yeah, doors are good at that. So she may not be back for a very long time.
I mean, Sigil's not going to lock her away. It's just got all sorts of places you can get to from there. As long as you have the, I mean, there's certain things you can't do once you're there. There's rules and things. As long as you don't break the rules. And I don't mean
wonder-
like minor rules like don't pickpocket. I mean like don't try to sneak a deity in.
Huh. I didn't know you could sneak a deity at all.
Well, they're not even allowed to go into Sigil because Lady of Pain has it all locked down tight as far as deities go. And like if you're doing something that involves the portals and it might be shady, she can completely block the portal. But most of the time she just lets the keepers take care of everything. Anyway, what are you looking for, Mr. Elias?
I'm looking for a book, maybe. Anything of that sort. I'm mostly just looking for that letter book.
Letter book. You find the letter book 100% right here on this chair. It is a... Oh, wrong button. It is a yellow book with a big red eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me type on it. I probably have the wrong selection tool. There we go. Oh, I'm going to make it a lowercase. Sorry, remember it's an I and not an L because that font, it all looks the same. And that is right there on that chair.
I found the book. That was easy.
Oh, that's good.
It's got an eye on it, and he's gonna start flipping through the pages.
This one seems to be a history volume cataloging different military campaigns across the Sword Coast. You know, famous mercenary battles, kings, sieges, that sort of thing.
wish I had a bag of holding. I'd shove all these books in there and I'd read them when I got back.
Well, I mean, I don't know that you can take them out of the mansion if there's supposed to be a clue. And River is looking at the bookshelf herself. Hey, what's this? And she starts fiddling with one of the books. And you hear this as something clicks. And suddenly, this panel right here starts to slide aside. And I think that's a good spot to leave it.
Ooh.
Because she rolled a natural
Secret
20. So.
Ooh. Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Oh, the plot thickens.
I'm excited you guys got a tiny bit of combat and didn't die.
And we didn't die.
And we didn't die.
Always nice.
I was looking at I'm like, do I adjust this? Do I leave it as is? What do I do? I don't want to kill anybody, but I'm terrible at adjusting combat. So I took a gamble and left it as is.
It worked out pretty good. We whacked the shit out of that mimic.
You did.
Everybody just immediately began treating it like a party piñata.
I love that you actually went and sat on it.
Well, we got to for science.
Yeah.
For science.
For science. You gotta learn.
I'm excited to get to DM for Dust at some point, if you keep him for one of the later one-shots.
Is that you
Yeah.
claiming the next chapter?
I wouldn't be opposed. I know we've been talking about let me DM for a while, so.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Well,
All right.
I'll see you guys later.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good
Good night.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.